We hear a lot about this concept of attraction. The law of attraction, in fact, is one of the common themes that are being discussed around the world these days. And this goes back. I mean, if you read any scripture at all, you'll understand that the law of attraction has been alive and well for a very long time. There's no mystery at all. You're hearing from the leaders who have won, thank you, who've been winning these awards, and they're telling you the same thing. They're saying, you know, here's what I did. Now, they didn't take you through the actions, the conversation they had, the way they positioned Nikan or the products. They didn't tell you that, did they? What did they tell you? They told you that, take away all of that stuff, because that stuff is not really what made it happen. What made it happen was that they set their mind to it. They set a goal. And then they allowed a process that is a natural phenomenon called the law of attraction, because they held on to the firm faith. I like the word that Molly used because that's the correct word. What is faith exactly? It's an understanding, an acceptance, a humble statement that I don't know, but I trust. That's what it is. I don't know, but I trust. A process that is beyond my comprehension, that is at work in my life and the lives of every other human being and everyone in the universe. That I am drawing to myself that which I hold to be true for myself. Let me say that again. That I am drawing to myself that which I'm holding to be true for myself. Now, if that's the fact, then what you've drawn to your life thus far is what you've held true for you. Not necessarily true for anybody else, but certainly true for you. And truth is another one of those funny things. Is the world flat? Is the world round? Well, that depends on what time of the year you were asking that question. What was true? So, what is true for you is what is determining what you are attracting to you by the same universal law that applies to everyone all the time, 24/7. What are you holding to be true for you? Do you hold to be true for you that Nikan is a vehicle for you to achieve your dreams? Do you hold it to be true for you that Nikan is the mechanism by which you will attract into your life the things that matter most to you? If you hold those things to be true for you, you will experience it. Now, you heard some people say, well, it was October and nothing was happening. Don't get impatient. The law is exact. It's precise to the moment. Where on the 11th hour, at the 11th minute, you get that call, you get that phone call, you get that order, and kaboom, if you hold true and hold that faith. So the idea of attracting people into Nikan is a consequence. The right people will show up. You heard that said from a guy who got 2 Paragon Awards in 1 month. That's incredible. Or is it? Is it just the law applied exceptionally well by someone who has an extraordinary amount of faith? I say that's what it really is. It's an example. He's setting an example for the power of this law. That it's not a mystery, that it's not the roll of the dice. There's no favoritism in this law. It doesn't care, good or bad or indifferent. It simply mirrors back what you hold to be true for you. And if you don't hold good things to be true for you, you're not going to receive anything more than what you hold to be true for you. So maybe the real education here in Nikan, the whole experience of humans being more, what we are inviting the world to participate in is a redefinition. Redefining ourselves as people who are more than what we've been living ourselves to be. Who have much greater potential than anything we've ever experienced or realized. Hence, the only way for me to experience that version of myself that's bigger and better than anything I've even imagined is to have some faith and operate as if it were so. And then I will realize that. I used to be, I told my mom when I was growing up I'd be a millionaire when I was a kid. And she did what every first generation, or Italian immigrant would say, yeah, oh, yeah, sure, okay, good. very skeptical, very not that supportive, because they don't want us to get hurt. They don't want us to imagine, beyond what is realistic. All she was revealing to me in that statement was the limitations of her mind, not mine. And I had a choice at that moment to either accept her truth as my truth or reject that and accept my truth as my truth. So the eventuality, the inevitability of me becoming a millionaire was just a simple consequence. The vehicle that found its way into my life was a vehicle that found its way because of how I'm wired. I'm wired to make a difference in the lives of others. I didn't even know that about myself until I was really fully involved in this business and I realized how much the message of humans being more resonated with me. And then I got really good at it. And so I've seen my career improve over time as I became more enamored with the idea of making this my vocation and making a change in the world. See, attracting people is, who are you being? What are you resonating with? There's a law that the law of attraction operates by, vibration. Everything is energy and everything is in vibration. And only those things that are in harmony with the frequency that you are vibrating will be attracted into your sphere of influence. So attraction is just simply a mirror of you being you. So who do you want to attract into your business? People like you? People who are capable of beyond what you've been capable of? What do you hold true for you? That you're worth attracting people who can do that much more? It really takes a certain amount of humility to attract somebody who you consider better than you. Now, how many of you would like to have a few Dave Johnsons on your front line? Or Herb Raps? How many, right? Yeah, hello. Do you think there's some out there? Do you think there are people, the good news about attracting? The people that you want to attract are already breathing air. The hard part's been taken care of. They were born. They've been raised. They're walking around in bodies, just waiting for you to show up. Now, what connects the two dots? It's the goal, it's the law, it's I accept this to be true for me, that I am worthy of attracting people like that because that's who I am. That's what I believe to be true for me. So everything I'm going to say from this point on really doesn't matter. I like to put things together in structure. I like to teach from a point of view of structure. I think we hold concepts a lot easier, but sincerely, what I just told you in the last 5 or so minutes is the crux of it all. It's you will attract into your life what you believe to be true for you. So I suggest you make a decision of what you believe to be true for you. Because it's actually the power of the decision that flips the switch within you to shift your frequency. You can go from somebody who doesn't believe something to be true for themselves to somebody who does in the blink of an eye. It's simply a choice. The moment you switch the channel from this channel to this channel, think of radio. When you switch from this station to this station, you stop hearing that music, you start hearing this music. Yeah, there's nothing to sneeze at, this is... So, change the station. It's a decision. It doesn't take work to change the station. The work only begins once you've changed the station. It's a decision. It's a moment in time that you make a decision about yourself. What is true for me? Because everything you've held true for yourself has been completely arbitrary until now anyway. You can change your mind any minute and keep changing your mind. I just suggest you change your mind into something that really matters, that really gets you so fired up and so excited about who you are being and who you are attracting, that the universe just can't help itself but to deliver it as it's been doing until now for everyone all the time throughout history. So, what do? Well, leaders inspire, right? That's the point. So you need to see yourself as such a person. I am true. You need to be true about that. Let me tell you something. You are. You have no idea how incredible the company you're keeping is right now, just in this room alone. The fact that you've made it into this space, into this frequency, into this room, says something already about you. There's a lot of people out there in the world right now who are struggling and don't know what we have. They're struggling just to find a definition of who they are for themselves, what they believe success to be. And here you are discovering humans being more. A 43-plus year legacy that will stand the test of time because it's a thread that's applicable regardless of how old you are and no matter what year this is. And that's why Nikken deserves to be here forever. These products may come and go. We're going to get innovations all the time. The compensation plan may change. But what won't change is why we're here. Humans being more. So when we talk about attracting people, it always starts with why. Why? You've been hearing this why. I was talking to somebody and we talked about their why and all of a sudden they got it. Because that's what drives us. It's the why. It's the motive behind everything. So there's two kinds of whys in Nikken. There's one that's personal. My why is my business. Why I do what I do is really my business. What I aspire to have for myself and my family, the kind of life and lifestyle that I wish to live, that's my personal vision. And you really wanted to find that. Those of you who spent time in HBM yesterday had some time to do that, didn't you? How important are those vision boards? All you're doing right now is giving clarity to who you say you are, to your personal truth. I would like you to look at those vision boards as not something you are going to have, but look at those vision boards as if they are photographs of your current life, who you are. Hold that to be true about yourself. In other words, we step out of who we think we are into the person we wish to become as if we actually are that person. And we hold that to be our truth. So look at that vision board, all those photographs, as history. This is where you went, this is what you have, this is who you've been with, etc. Think of it as like a storyboard of your past. Because that's the only way for you to really get into the frame of mind of the truth being that's who I am. As long as you keep that thing in front of you as if it's who you are going to be, it's always in front of you of who you're going to be. That's not the frequency or the vibration of the person I am. You must hold this truth. I am the person I say I am, and I hold to be true about myself. It's not out here, it's here. And the law then says, okay, I'll make sure the environment and the people and your surroundings and your circumstances are a mirror to that, reflect that truth. That is the law. It will reflect the truth. Does it happen instantaneously? Actually, it does. Does it manifest instantaneously? Some things take a little bit longer than others. But they now have absolute proof that your DNA adjusts itself immediately when you make a decision. They sent astronauts out into space. Do you know that just by getting out in space and coming back, your DNA is altered? Something about the heavens? Think about it. So we are not fixed. We're not a fixed subject. Everything that you've been up to now is not fixed. It's a work in progress. So make some decisions about your personal vision. Your business vision, now here isn't a thing that gets exciting. What do you have in store for yourself, where your business is concerned? Because if you're going to attract anybody, you need to be going someplace. You need to be creating something. Because if you're not going to attract anybody. Well, the how of the business is really simple. Tell them about the products. Tell them about the business opportunity and show them the plan, the system that we have. Now we have an amazing one. I mean, our system, I think, is pretty well defined. And with the new incentives, the way they're structured, they give you a step-by-step, play-by-play of how to get from here to there. So we have something concrete that I can say, here's how. I don't have to invent it, it's already been done. It's proven, 43 years in the making, and it's going strong and getting stronger, because our message is more relevant today than even 43 years ago. How about that? A message that becomes more relevant with time. That's an incredible commodity in the world that we're living in. And if you're the person who represents that message, that makes you mountains above many people. So, the next piece is, okay, so what does it take to make this thing work? I need to know what it takes. You know, when we first get a job, first thing they do is they orient us around our office and our responsibilities, the roles that we play. We need some orientation, otherwise we're going to be lost. We need direction. And so, you need to have a what? What is it that it takes? What is it that we do to succeed in this business? Now, if you have these things in your back pocket, in your toolbox, then you're going to be able to help somebody navigate this business, which just increased the probability of you actually attracting somebody immensely. I'll tell you why. If you don't know what to do with somebody when you sponsor someone, chances are pretty high you're not going to try sponsoring anybody, because you won't attract them. Think about that. So having a little bit of insight about exactly what I would do with somebody, because I know exactly where they fit into the picture of my role, my run for this or my run for that, then you're anxious to attract that person, because you know you're waiting, you know exactly what you're going to do once you find them. But if you don't know what to do, and you wouldn't know what to do with them, you're like, that energy is not very attractive, is it? So getting a little bit of understanding about what to do with somebody is really important. Having a what in your understanding becomes important. So being a student of this business, learning from the best, taking notes, using the tools that they provide. There's some excellent tools that you've been handed that give you insights. Learn them, understand them, know how you would use them. It's, I used to be an electrician. Can you imagine an electrician walking in with a pouch full of tools, saying, okay, you got to fix that light, huh? And they look at their tools and they don't know what any of these tools do. Certainly wouldn't be very productive. So understand your tools. Know what's in your toolbox, because that makes you very effective. Simple ideas, right? But take the time. You're a pro. You want to be a pro. You want to demonstrate that you are somebody worth partnering with. If you only did that for yourself, you would now engage the law to attract to you the person to actually utilize those tools with. It's all about you taking on a new truth about yourself. And if you became confident that you actually knew what to do with somebody, you would attract that somebody. Pretty lickety split. So, let's start with why. Those of you who attended HBM, you keep hearing this formula over and over again. Intention plus mechanism equals results, and in the end what we really learn is intention equals results. So that's why I said all the mechanisms I give you right now, who cares? They're good, they're important, they're useful, but nothing compares to intention. Nothing will empower you more or create more in the way of attraction and results than intention. So, there are many mechanisms available that can be used to take someone through the partnering process. However, their willingness to even enter this process is mostly based on intention, especially your overall intention. The intention behind your words. The intention behind your actions. You know, I was watching yesterday, at the end of the preview, there was somebody in the room who was demonstrating the products. It was you, Debbie. You're demonstrating the products. And I was watching because it was the intention behind the demonstration of the products. If you don't know Debbie, you don't know that she is absolutely so into the person that she's trying to serve, that she's 100% there for them. You don't get a sense at all she's in it for herself. And that's the intention behind the effort. You don't think that has an impact on that person who's receiving? Whew! That's healing. How many of us would love to have that kind of attention on ourselves? Out there in the world, people are right now seeking desperately for some kind of attention, and they even will take negative attention over anything because it's more available. So here you come along with incredible positive intention to make a difference in their life, wholeheartedly, earnestly, knowing you got it covered, because you operate according to the law. You know what's coming. You already know it's coming. Who it's coming through is irrelevant. You know it's coming. So you're just there to serve in the moment. I love what my mentor used to say. There's only one source of everything. How you get it, how it comes to you is just the mechanism. But there is only one source. So if you're always outputting, you're always feeding into that outflow, what must then come around is the return, the law. Whatever you put into the system, by law, must come back to you through whatever mechanism you've chosen. And in this case, it's Nikan. So, what is your intention when you speak to someone? What do you want to attract them to? Let's take a look at your vision of what it is you're doing here. How many of you are building a doghouse? I'm a Nikan. I'm building a doghouse. Versus a skyscraper. Now think about it. The skyscraper will house a lot more people, and it's a much better view from the penthouse than it is from the doghouse. So what are you creating? If you don't have a vision of it, if you can't actually see it in your mind, if you can't draw it out on paper, it's pretty hard to attract. I'll give you an example. Let's say you're trying to build a house. Well, what's the first thing you need to do if you're going to build a house? You need a blueprint. You need somebody to take your idea of what you want, put it on paper so other people can actually see it and imagine it too, and then help you build it. If you didn't have that blueprint, can you imagine what this house might look like? I can. Probably like a doghouse. Don't need a blueprint to build a doghouse. But you sure as heck would need one to build a skyscraper. So do you have a vision of the business that you want to create? We have a thing called a compensation plan. We now have an incentive program. Can you look at it? Can you look at it and see it? Can you imagine those numbers actually as people? There's people generating those numbers. Can you see the people? Can you see your organization? Can you imagine it? Can you draw it out in your mind? Can you then put it on paper? Can you transfer the idea onto paper? I use this all the time. This is the most important document I've ever created. Because this is not only visual, it's also practical. It's a blueprint. It's colored blue because I want it to be a blueprint. It's a blueprint for a launch. It's the only thing I ever learned how to do. I think it's my responsibility to give the person I sponsor the best start I know how. So this is my blueprint for a launch. Do you have one? I'm prepped. I'm ready to go. I carry these things in bulk because I needed one for everybody, for every person I sponsor. They each need a blueprint. So, here's my vision. What's yours? Putting Nikan on the map. Big job. 7 billion people on the planet. Now, do you think people might be attracted to join me in my quest to put Nikan on the map? Once they understand what is Nikan. You see, the size of your vision about what it is that you're creating will determine who will join you. If you're trying to create a doghouse for yourself, you don't need a lot of help, do you? But if your quest is to put Nikan on the map in North America or in the world, now, that's a big project. Do you need help? In fact, you can't accomplish it without help. So the law says, okay, that's who you say you are. I will help you. I'll facilitate this process. You need to attract people because what you have in mind to do is going to need this and this and this and this, and it starts delivering it to you. So, Nikan's about a massively transformative purpose in MTP. Mr. Masuda had a big idea to share wellness through the 5 pillars of health to the world. Here we are. 43 years later, because of this vision, so big, so profound. What's your vision? I love the wellness home, totally relevant. Powerful products, powerful mission. I love our business vehicle, network marketing. Why? Because it takes me out of the paradigm of trading time for money, which has a vicious cycle to it, and steals my freedom. That's what we're offering people. Liberty. It's a business that they can build part-time and scale it up to a full-time income. Wow. Show me another way to do it. I have to pay my bills, but I want to live this life. How do I create a bridge to get from here to there? It's called Nikan. Humans being more. Talk about a massively transformational purpose. And culture. We, Nikan family, are people you can trust and bring people to. Because the culture that is who we are, who we define ourselves to be, is collaborators. People who share our knowledge and our experience. Do you know, half the time I receive a call, I haven't got a clue whose organization they're in. And I don't ask that question because it doesn't matter. I get paid from one source. When you understand these concepts and you live these truths, then the universe will reflect this to you. Who you believe yourself to be is who you are attracting. We have an amazing support system. If you've not studied who your support is or what your support is, events like this and others, the Aspire event in April, understand that you have a support system. That's what you have to offer somebody. Again, if you're not sure what to do with somebody, it's going to be a hard thing for you to attract somebody. But if you know, even if I don't know, I know somebody who does. That gives you a sense of confidence that, you know what, I don't have to have all the answers. I don't have to know everything. But I do have to know that I'm plugged into a system of support. So make yourself known to the people who can help you. Make yourself known. Phone your upline. I'll tell you, people wonder what I do all day long. I answer calls, I answer emails, I respond to everyone who calls me and texts me, but I don't spend my time calling people all day long. I'm too busy receiving calls, which I'm perfectly happy to do. Make yourself known to the people who can help you, because they're there to support. Let's see, and finally, the idea of this being attainable. Because this is a business you can do on a part-time basis, you have that to offer somebody. So the attraction, the idea of attracting, is knowing what you have to offer. Knowing with confidence that you have this and that you can share it with others and you have the help to do that. That should create a sense of who you are, a sense of identity that's powerful, a sense of identity that recognizes, you know what? I know something that most people in the world don't know, no matter who they are or what place and position of power they have. I know something they don't know, and what I do know could make a huge difference in their life. All I have to do is share it with them in the best way I can. Get help doing it if it means getting an ABC call going. And you will attract people. It's the energy that you approach this situation with which will determine who's on the other end of that energy. You've got to be the person you want to attract. That's essentially the law of attraction. And there's no end to that, because there's so many people waiting for this message. So many people. We ought to fill this room tenfold next year. Help me do it. Thank you.